Three.
Need to sit back and watch the pre-game festivities.
Va Messi contra Loris y la Leo. Le va a pegar Messi, va Messi. Tira larga, recupera Nahuel Molina rápido para Alexis, rápido para Messi, viene Leo, toca rápido para Julián, y va Argentina, rapidísimo para Alexis, puede ser el Angelito, puede ser el Angelito, viene Alexis, se vio, va para Angelito. Argentina, está gritado, la deja para Messi, muy buena, buena pelota, muy buena, va para Lautaro, para el arquero Messi, se envió largo, ¿qué pasó? Con la manita para el arquero, tapa el Dibu, una pelota sensacional, tapó el Dibu, Martínez era gol. Bueno, señoras y señores, hay penales, habrá penales para ver quién es el campeón del mundo. Le va a pegar Leo, Messi contra Loris, va Leo, Messi, gol argentino, lo viejo nomás, lo esperó hasta el final, 1-1 hasta la serie, vamos. Va contra el Dibu. Va Coman. Tapa el arquero. Tapa el Dibu. Tapa el Dibu. Tranquilo. Tapa el Dibu. Tranquilo. Vamos, Paulo. Dybala. ¡Gol! Argentino. Paulo, viejo nomás. Argentina 2. Francia 1. Va Paredes. ¡Gol! Un pasito más. Argentina 3-1. Señoras y señores, ya Francia, si convierte Gonzalo, Argentina será campeón del mundo. Va Montiel.
I doubt any words can be added to that moment. Many lived and died several lives that night at Lusail and Beater. It was great to see that, and for the players, of course, many still on the bench waiting for their opportunity. We'll see how that ends up playing out.
Yeah, just how many times have the players and all those in the stands watched those highlights? Still makes the hairs to stick up on your arm there, watching that highlights from what was an extraordinary World Cup final.
Being there, I mean, look, being there was one of the great experiences one could have ever had, but you see it time and time again, and it ends up being more and more surreal. It ends up being more and more, wow, I happened to be there, of course, in that area. As the team's about to come onto the pitch, we see the Argentine national team jersey coming out. It's all part of this spectacle that's been established. And look, we have to give credit where credit is due. everyone that's organized these matches, the logistics, the spectacle. Keep in mind, there were some artists that were on stage prior to this. There will be some. I don't know, Peter, are you staying after the match to watch or no?
I believe so. It's more and more.
I believe so.
Just as it was on Thursday.
I just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to be the only one there.
No. We'll be sticking around, I think, for the music after the game as well.
As, of course, it's not only time to look at what this team's going to be able to do, but also you're going to see them coming out with some T-shirts supporting the 2030 World Cup bid. And there's also a reason for it. There's a lot of little nuances to all of this. The Madre de Ciudades is one of the stadiums that Argentina wants to have the World Cup in 2030 played. Of course, it's Argentina, Chile, Uruguay, and Paraguay. And as of right now, it's them, Saudi Arabia, and, of course, the bid that was made, it's kind of unprecedented, between Spain, Portugal, and Morocco. It would be two confederations, basically, with that special bid over in Europe/Africa. As we will stop for a second for the singing of the two national anthems, and of course, you see that right there as the bid is full underway for South America. I'm going to step aside for the national anthems.
Curacao. Y a continuación, nuestra canción patria, nuestro himno nacional, en las voces de los manceros, Héctor Garnica y Muriedis.
I remember a few people telling me before that games were won sometimes and lost sometimes at the anthems. I don't know if it will make a difference in this particular case, but when you have that type of effusive manner, the way some players were overcome, well, it lends you to kind of believe that. Peter, how is Argentina? How is Curacao lining up today? Let's start with whichever team you want first.
Argentina make 5 changes from that side that won against Panama. Dibu Martinez in goal. The back 4 of Montiel, Pesela and Acuna, the 2 that come in. Otamendi keeps his place. The midfield 3, Fernandez, McAllister keep their places but are joined by Giovanni Lo Celso. And then in attack, Lautaro Martinez and Nico Gonzalez come into the starting lineup to go alongside Lionel Messi.
Curacao with Eloy Rom, Julian Gari, Cuco Martina, Rashid Van Eijma, and of course Cheryl Flores, Vernon Anita, Brantley Cuvas, Leandro Bacuna, Kenny Corre, and of course up top it'll be Rangelo Yanga and Juninho Bacuna. The starting 11 for Remco Vicentini. So much, it's kind of funny because I'm talking about Leandro Bacuna, of course, in the starting lineup today. Leandro Bacuna was being interviewed a few days ago, actually yesterday to be more precise, by an Argentine journalist, and he goes into his Instagram profile and puts on and goes and sees a post that he says, "My GOAT," and of course it's Leo Messi. On the day that Argentina wins the World Cup, since then that post itself ended up gaining new life in Argentina as it became viral basically throughout all of Argentina. after it was seen on television. Of course, we see the referees. It'll be a Uruguayan crew. Gustavo Tejera will be leading the way. Will be accompanied by Carlos Barreiro and Richard Trinidad. Cristian Ferreira will be the fourth referee. So we're almost ready to go here in Santiago del Estero, Peter. Now, one thing to say, okay, yeah, it's all celebration. It's all taking in and being in an instance where you can have communion with your fans, but it's also a position where you start to also profile yourself for the upcoming qualifiers as well.
So we're just seeing the Curacao lineup there on the screen now. As he already went through, Rumingol, Gary, Martina, Panaima, Florines, Anita, and two Bacunas making the midfield, and the front three of Kuas, Kanga, and Gore.
And a lot of these players for Curacao, many of them have been veterans of many battles dating back to 2017 and 2019, when they really had a very important run in the Gold Cup. Came very close to getting into World Cup qualifying, or deep into World Cup qualifying. Mind you, many of these players play domestically, but a good portion of them play in the Netherlands and have played in the Netherlands. Eloy Rom, for example, played for a brief stint over at the Columbus Crew in the United States, as we are underway here at the Madre de Ciudades, Argentina, in their traditional albiceleste. Curacao in their alternate navy blue. Of course, it's Otamendi alongside Petzela. Cuti Romero on the bench as Enzo Fernandez begins to take control in the middle of the pitch. Again, it's Petzela. Dropping back a little bit more is Alexis McAllister. Argentina one more time, as they tend to do from the get-go, looking to control possession. And it's now Huevo Acuña. Marcos back to none other than Alexis McAllister. Gio Lo Celso also getting into the fray. Lautaro Martinez, Nico Gonzalez will be very interesting to look at as well.
It's a big night.
Speaking of which, Gonzalez down the left side. Good.
Big night for Gonzalez and Lo Celso, who had been really important players for Lionel Scaloni in the years leading up to the World Cup. Would have undoubtedly been in Qatar were it not for injury. So it's nice for them to be back part of the squad for these two friendlies and at least get their moment to celebrate.
Who was it? I think it was Rodrigo de Paul that also said that for him it was extremely heartbreaking when he found out that Gio Lo Celso was injured and couldn't be part of the World Cup, because he knew exactly what he meant. And Argentina knew what Lo Celso meant to their aspirations, although there were many others that decided to step up. Dibu Martinez coming out of his box, just clearing it out, no problem for him.
Those sliding door moments, though, really, or it certainly could be perceived that way. Lo Celso looked to be a lock in that midfield three for Scaloni going into that World Cup, and
absolutely
after that defeat to Saudi Arabia and obviously the changes that had to take place to the squad in the first place, suddenly we end up with the midfield that, more or less the midfield that we see here. Enzo Fernandez and McAllister, the two real beneficiaries.
Messi with the ball down the right side. Messi, if he gets past the defender, it could be 1-0, and Lautaro Martinez started cheering and unbelievably missed a wide open net. Nico Gonzalez couldn't get there on time. A perfectly placed ball by Messi. And unbelievable what's missed by Lautaro Martinez. He's completely on.
Well, it's a staggering miss from Lautaro Martinez, who could really do with a goal in national team colours. Another figure who has been so important to Lionel Scaloni. We look at the goals that he scored throughout Scaloni's reign in charge of the national team, and yet it kind of eluded him at the World Cup. His form, he went. Julian Alvarez took his spot. A lot of people then were sort of still questioning Lautaro, even though Argentina had lifted the World Cup. So I feel as though this could be an opportunity for him just to put that behind him, join in with the celebrations and get himself a goal, but he won't get a better chance than that all night.
No, absolutely not. And keep in mind, he then confessed that he was suffering from ankle issues throughout the World Cup, thus kind of limiting his productivity. Van Eijma. Divided ball that's won by Argentina, but finally recovered by Vernon Anita. Anita once more controlling in the middle of the pitch. Going to Cuco Martina. Gari. It's Curacao looking to try and maintain and, I guess, proverbially defend with the ball at their feet. The ball that's taken away, and Argentina pressuring on Curacao's side of the pitch. Martina deciding to go back to the veteran Eloy Rom. Of course, he blasted out of bounds amidst the pressure that was being exerted upon him. And Argentina will get it right back. This time it'll be Marcos Acuña. Nicolás Otamendi. Back to Petzela. Opening up down the far side is Gonzalo Montiel. Dropping back Enzo Fernandez. Messi up top. Lautaro Martinez also waiting. Of course, now you see everybody gravitating a little bit more towards the Argentina number 10. Lo Celso. Petzela back to Otamendi. Argentina just circulating the ball around, trying to find the space where they can attack. Back to Huevo. Otamendi. Dropping back a little bit more is Lo Celso. Same thing with Gonzalo Montiel as the play goes in that direction. Petzela. Enzo. Dropping back a little bit more, Alexis McAllister. But Argentina losing possession of the ball. Keep in mind, this is a completely different side with a completely different style of play, Curacao, compared to what they're facing against Panama. The level of competition ratchets up a little bit more. And you say, well, it's a team that hasn't won in an important stretch of time. But yes, this is Curacao's first team compared to Panama's second/third.
Yeah, and we even saw against Panama's B team on Thursday, when they just sat back in numbers, as they did, Argentina had a tough time breaking through. Had to wait until very late on for that Thiago Almada goal to give them the breakthrough. And then, of course, Messi adding that second with the free kick. But they really struggled, particularly from open play, to create clear chances. Certainly as chances as clear as the one we've already seen tonight.
Swooping in to take that ball away. Otamendi. Huevo Acuña does have Nico Gonzalez tracking down that near side. Enzo Fernandez. Lo Celso as well as McAllister in the middle decides to go in the direction of Montiel, dropping back Messi, having to first time it back. Messi. Enzo Fernandez. As we're still kind of gathering ourselves here at the Madre de Ciudades, although there's no sense of intimidation as far as Curacao. They've been able to play relatively well so far. Watch out over on the far side of the ball that goes through, trying to knife it through as Lionel Messi was making his run down the middle. Recovered, and it'll be Florenos that plays it into the middle to Vernon Anita. Renzo Vicentini.
Celso trying to find Messi there. That was a combination that really looked so promising under Scaloni before, of course, the injury to Lo Celso. One of those players that seem to have that kind of relationship with Messi that, of course, been lacking for so long in Messi's international career.
Seven minutes in, and we've already had I don't know, what can I call it, a whiff. I guess I'll just a whiff, a miss of epic proportions by Lautaro Martinez. Now trying to dig in a little bit more. Almost getting there was Leandro Bacuna. Curacao now pressing in the middle with Vernon Anita. First timing it in, coming in rather aggressively was Petzela, laying it off. It's Brandy Kawas. Gari. Gari once more. The referee lets play continue. Cuco Martina, the veteran. Of course, today ends up being his 60th cap with Curacao. We'll have to go all the way back because Ranlicao was still on the ground. Of course, he takes the worst end of that. Will Acuna ends up right there, flipping his heel. Rather painful if you would consider it.
I think Cuas would have rather the free kick in that situation and a chance to get it into the box rather than just keep possession and having to go all the way back in the end to the goalkeeper. But even in these opening 8 minutes, where Argentina dominated possession, and when they're in possession, Curacao are happy for them to have it until they get into the Curacao half. What we saw there when they are on the ball, the visitors, is a lot more ambition than we saw from Panama and a lot more players committing to the attack.
I'll tell you how Curacao and Argentina seem to be linked together hand in hand. I mentioned it a little bit as Argentina now with a free kick opportunity from far away. They'll try and continue playing it on the ground as they tend to do. Otamendi, Will Acuna, having to drop it back to the Benfica central defender. Germán Pizzila. Enzo Fernandez dropping back. McAllister. Messi. Good pass to Nico Gonzalez, laying it out for Leo Messi. Hello, room. Able to parry that ball wide. After it was deflected, it'll be the first corner kick of the match. It'll favor the Albiceleste.
Argentina suddenly just inject a bit of pace into that spell of possession. Messi with a little give and go from Nico Gonzalez. The shot takes deflection. It's comfortable enough for Rum, but he makes absolutely certain two big hands to push it behind for a corner.
And Messi, nobody on the far post. It'll go astray, and Curacao fending off another Argentine attack. I mean, you see that bench, you're like, oh my God. The names from the past were Scaloni, Walter Samuel, Raton Ayala, and of course Pablo Aymar, Van Eyman, Gatti. Recovered in the middle, good work there. Those Juninho Bacuna. He's dropped back up top, all by himself is Angelo Yanga. Angelo trying to do his best up top, and of course he'll have a very tough assignment. He's had a very tough assignment up to now.
We were talking before about that more ambitious, on the front foot approach from Curacao when they're in possession. I think will open up opportunities, as it already has for Argentina, because they're able to win possession. If they move the ball forward quickly, as they have for the chance for Lautaro and just a moment ago with Messi, then suddenly there are spaces or an opportunity to get immediately that back four, something which Argentina were really unable to do at all against Panama, given how deep they sat and in great numbers.
Otamendi, Acuna. McAllister. Four players surrounding the Brighton man. Finally playing it out, decompressing over in the direction of Montiel. Again, it's Montiel. Has Lautaro Martinez dropping out to Messi! Eloy Rum once more. Argentina getting closer this time around. But the veteran goalkeeper slamming the door shut.
Wonderful build-up play. I think it was Lo Celso again with that little reverse pass with his right foot to release Montiel. Montiel had a ball across, but decided to cut it back for Messi.
Messi. Right off there by Lo Celso. Watch out with Enzo Fernandez finding Messi a little bit too far. But there's one defect. He's not that tall, so you have to be pinpoint perfect. I thought actually Enzo Fernandez was going to take a crack at it from that distance.
This is that chance before. Brilliantly worked into that space. And again, Messi finding a pocket of space on the edge of the box that he was unable to for a lot of the periods against Panama. And once again, room equal to that effort.
And that shot missing wide. Lautaro Martinez. Now, you're talking about his struggles with them at the national team level. If you look at the goal scorers for Argentina post-World Cup, he's at the top of the list. Now, in terms of that saying a lot, it does say a lot, but it doesn't say the entire story, especially knowing how Inter have struggled so far this year, so much so that they've lost pace with Napoli in the race for the Scudetto. So much so that they also lost pace with Lazio in the race for the Scudetto. Acuna. Further back it goes to Diego Martinez. Enzo Fernandez. Petzela. Lo Celso. Martinez in the middle. The one that, of course, was wide open or had some room was right there was McAllister. Laying it off. Gonzalez. Left-footed. Not the best angle for him.
No, he apologises to those queuing up in the middle. I think Lo Celso was the man berating in there who arrived completely unmarked to the back post. Gonzalez did have a lot of space, but the angle was against him. Decided to try and beat Rum at his near post. Miscued it. Again, a lot of space here for Argentina. And it's a big ask this for Vananita, the former Newcastle man, at the base of that Curacao midfield, because he's having to try and watch where Messi's drifting to in behind Lautaro, but at the same time you've got McAllister dropping into that place, you've got Lo Celso picking the ball up, and there's an awful lot on the plate of Anita to know exactly who he should be trying to stop there.
How many things does he? I mean, how many things does he exactly have on his plate? Well, you kind of mentioned half of them. Patty. Poked away by Huevo Acuna, getting there just a little of time was Otamendi, trying to triangulate their way out, but finally it's recovered. It'll be Curacao controlling proceedings. As I said, it's a completely different style of football. Obviously a more cohesive unit compared to what Panama had. They're trying to grab players here and there and everywhere to be able to field the side. Of course, their top side was participating in the CONCACAF Nations League, as was Curacao. They lost at home at Willemstad just the other day against Canada.
A risk taken there by Martino. It was busy berating some teammates for not giving him a passing option there. Didn't expect the ball back from Room before heading it back to his keeper.
Rome plays it out, dropping it back and doing a good job of it, Curacao, as of right now. Sorry, Ferranis. And turning around very well was Genji Gore. Maintain that ball in the field of play, but and that ends up being a different story, as you see many that are a part of Argentina's bench.
Very much that next generation that we talked about before kickoff there as well.
Yes, sir.
The expectation to the likes of Facundo Buonanotte.
It'll be too far for Nico Gonzalez. So far, maybe a little bit more than we saw against Panama in terms of opportunities created at this stage of the match compared to the match the other day.
Yeah, absolutely. Argentina will feel they should certainly be in front here. And that's not to say that Curacao are not a better team. I think they look more adept than that Panama side, but that in turn does leave them a little bit more open, and at the moment through 18 minutes, Argentina have been able to find those spaces at the back.
another one earning his 30th cap. Curaçao's right back. Yurinkari. He plays in the Dutch league. He plays in the Eredivisie over at Valvik. So said it's a team where maybe some of the players aren't celebrity household names at the international level, but yet they have been playing competitive football. There's Gonzalo Montiel on the ground, and he's complaining.
Yeah, I mean,
Does he get scraped a bit?
He does get caught there, doesn't he?
Yeah.
No intention there at all, but certainly does just get caught on his ankle or his shin. And just to go back to that point you're making, Juan, I think that's where you see the distinct difference in quality between this team and Thursday's Panama side, who were largely still based at home, whereas this is a side, as you say, playing in Europe, in maybe the Netherlands, or with significant experience.
Messi getting past two defenders. Leo with the left foot, looking to open things up down the near side. McAllister trying to microscopically sneak that ball in. Ball again won. Trying to slot it through. Messi! Perfecting Messi! Oh! Goal! Leo Messi! That's 100 for him at the national team level. Is he on? Yes, he is. Is it in the back of the net? Check as well. 1-0 Argentina.
Well, so many of those 100 coming from that sweet left foot of his, and this one with the right of Leo Messi just gets trapped under his feet for a moment, but he's able to get away from Martina, and then with that weaker foot finds the bottom corner to give Argentina their deserved breakthrough and give the man of the hour, the man of the moment, a historic moment for his international career. 100 goals for Argentina.
Third player in history to get to 100 goals. Yeah, I think that ball's going to be kept somewhere in that already vast museum that he was talking about. 174 caps, 100 goals for Lionel Andres Messi Cucitini. He joins Cristiano Ronaldo, he joins Ali Daei as the only players to have scored 100 goals at the international level. So 1-0 for Argentina. Will he get more? That's the question. He still has 9 more matches to play. Nico Gonzalez, Lautaro Martinez, Nico! Rome with another sensational save.
Well, he's being kept busy, isn't he? The veteran keeper. That's another smart stop. Lautaro Martinez's shot initially is blocked, but look at the space again inside the 18-yard box. At the moment, Curacao just not getting tight enough. And they're really asking for trouble. 1-0 down. It could get a lot worse for them here.
That's part of it. Either you drop back and defend and with the knife between your teeth, again, the ball gets cleared away, we'll do it all over again. Or you play the way you do, and then you get exploited in the spaces that you do leave. Pick your poison, sir. It'll be Lo Celso one more time. Gio. The header off the line. Roll! Argentina double their lead. Nico Gonzalez.
Well, have the floodgates just open. 2 in quick succession. It's Nico Gonzalez who gets there above room to head in. And then we said before, an important night for Gonzalez, having missed out on the World Cup through injury. And now he truly gets to mark tonight with a celebratory goal. It's another poor goal to give away defensively, cleared off the line by Vernon Anita. But he shouldn't be beating the goalkeeper to that second ball.
Yeah, Rome despite all the sensational saves he made, that charge to that ball, he should have ran over Nico Gonzalez. But ended up hesitating quite a bit. Fourth goal for Nico Gonzalez with the Albiceleste. And it's 2-0 already. Like we said before, Peter, either you drop back and hold on. That ball ends up being served inside. Looking to drop it down was Younger. The shot from way outside. That was Vernon Anita. Actually, check that. That was Juninho Bacuna who decided to take that ball from far away. Now, keep in mind, I'm not saying that they will, that one of the qualifying, or one of the qualifiers for Copa America next year, from the CONCACAF side at least, will be how teams do in the Nations League. So we obviously the usual suspects in CONCACAF, the US and Mexico. And then of course the second tier, which is pretty much teams like Costa Rica, Honduras. You could probably add Panama into that list as well. El Salvador. They'll all be vying for an opportunity. Maybe not. Maybe I'm kind of mean there because I didn't add Canada to that top tier, and I should have added them, which would have been mostly the most fair thing to say. But then, of course, those three teams and then everybody else, seeing who is going to come in as well. Maybe the possibility of a Haiti, maybe a possibility of a Jamaica. That'll be an interesting challenge. And kind of a bit of blood in the eye for Argentina after how that Copa America ended, what is it now, 7 years ago? Almost 7 years ago. Argentina just knocking the ball around in their own half of the pitch, being able to play it to Enzo Fernandez. Now Messi clearing it out. Nico Gonzalez all alone. Huevo Acuña running beside him. Gonzalez. Otamendi. Back to Petzela. And now you start hearing the oles here and there and everywhere. Messi. Lautaro Martinez going in the direction. Also, the one that ends up taking up the spots for both Lautaro Martinez and Messi was McAllister. Now it's Gonzalez. Nico, it'll be another corner kick for Argentina.
Gonzalez on this occasion staying out wide. Acuña there is the left back, looking to make so many of those forward runs and provide so much of the width. It does give a real license to Nico Gonzalez to tuck inside, get a little bit closer to Lautaro Martinez and provide a secondary goal threat through the middle for Argentina.
This time it'll be Messi with the outswinger. Having it close, but recovered by Gio Lo Celso. As we continue to progress in this first half, Argentina with a 2-0 lead. Alongside Peter Coates, I'm Juan Arango. It's a pleasure to be with you here in this FIFA International Friendly. Otamendi. Lo Celso as he plays it to Huevo Acuña. Lo Celso, Enzo Fernandez. Advancing a little bit more is Germán Petzela. Messi sends it to Nico Gonzalez again, a square ball back inside, all alone for Messi. Can he get two? Messi runs through Messi. Messi still going through Messi, dribbling around Lautaro Martinez. Eloy Rom. What is it? What now? Five saves for Eloy Rom.
Yeah, it's getting up there, isn't it? At 28 minutes in the clock, 2 goals already in. Making great reading for Curacao, and that was another glorious opportunity for Argentina. In the end, Messi probably probably guilty of taking a few too many touches before eventually finding Lautaro Martinez, but even then, make the argument that maybe Lautaro Martinez should do a little better with that finish.
Curacao, after the first goal, it's kind of a shot to the chin. The second one was a shot to the liver. They have not been able to recover their previous form. Messi. Lautaro Martinez lays it off for Leo. Leo again, if he finds another space, it could be 3. It could be his second in his own personal account if he was able to get through, but that was not the case. Bacuna. Huevo Acuña, even better. Nico Gonzalez, watch out over on the far side. A chance to shot that just ends up being drifted way too much by Gio Lo Celso.
It's been a really good start though from Gio Lo Celso, who's making up for lost time in this opening half an hour. But that passage of play right there speaks volumes of how open Curacao are. Just about to give praise to Juninho Bacuna for getting back there and helping out the side, dispossessing Messi as he broke through. But as they played the ball forward and lost it immediately, there was no one left in the midfield. Anita, both Bacunas were out of position, and in the space of one pass, Argentina were 4v4.
Cuco Martina won again. Enzo. Pizzina. Gonzalo Montiel. Messi was already making his run towards the opposing goal. Kenji Gorre. Looking to settle things down. Bacuna ends up going down, and referee Gustavo Tejera making the call. It's Cuco Martina. There's controlling proceedings, former Everton man. Ball a little bit too far for Juninho Bacuna. And Diego Martinez, who's been basically ball boy / spectator up to now. So far, it's been easy. I mean, as soon as Argentina started picking up the spaces that you mentioned earlier, the game just kind of ended up floating in their direction and ended up just favoring them in such an overwhelming fashion. Gonzalo Montiel laying it up for Leo Messi. Again, cutting back towards the middle. Messi has that ball poked away. Chasing, and finally it'll be Rome that recovers it, prevents it from going out of bounds. Won by Alexis McAllister. Gonzalez, back to McAllister, who lays it off to Enzo Fernandez. McAllister. Gonzalez. Huevo Acuña making a run down the near side. Nico. Messi. Oh. Goal! Messi times 2. Argentina 3. Curacao 0.
100 becomes 101 very quickly, and you wouldn't bet on that ending there. Lionel Messi, this time on his left foot, again afforded way too much space as Nico Gonzalez drives forward. No one tight enough there, and Messi, a couple of touches, and still no challenge as he gets that shot off. This time, Eloy Room can do absolutely nothing but just watch that go inside that far corner. All too easy for Argentina, 3-0.
800 became 801, and 801 became 802.
Well, this perhaps not the biggest of tests, and we may well see Messi add to that tally, but something to say for his form for Argentina over the last year or so. Only one game, that game against Poland in the World Cup, he didn't manage to score in. Something like the last 12 or 13 games, other than that one, he has managed to score. 4 coming into tonight, scored 18.
Nico Gonzalez, watch out with his
12.
through ball. Sorry, Messi looking for the hat trick. Leo has to step back. Enzo Fernandez, golazo! Goal! Enzo Fernandez. 4-0 for Argentina.
Is it too soon to start saying this is getting very, very ugly for Curacao? Again, it's so easy. Messi draws players to him, lays it off, and Enzo Fernandez from just outside the box. We know the quality he has on that right foot. He's able to find his spot. Again, Room just watching as it goes inside that corner, making it 4-0. Enzo Fernandez getting his second goal for the national team since, of course, that beautiful strike against Mexico at the World Cup.
And who set that one up for him too? Leo Messi. He was actually talking about that the other day in an interview. He talked about what, how remember when Julian Alvarez was talking about the Croatia match and how that assist came to be? Well, Enzo Fernandez had his own conversation about the goal that he ends up scoring against Mexico. Messi pressuring. Coming out again is Roshan Van Eyma. He was saying, Leo told me, come here, play. And as soon as he got the ball, he had a man be one-on-one. He decides to hook towards the middle, had the space, and of course ends up being Memo Ochoa for the second goal that ends up basically freezing, killing off that match against Mexico. Dibu got in just a little bit too late, but no harm done. It'll be a corner kick for Curacao. Near the top of the 6, cleared away by Lautaro Martinez. Messi waiting for that ball to come to him. Finally it goes through. Messi looking for a hat trick. Leo, Messi, goal! Leo Messi times 3. He's got the hat trick. Will you want more? I don't know. But right now, it's 5-0 Argentina.
And it's the 50th hat-trick of Lionel Messi's remarkable career. Lo Celso and Messi linking up again here to great effect. I talked about the relationship between those two players we were robbed of seeing at the World Cup. But here they combine. Lo Celso clipping the ball over the top, and once Messi's into that position, there's no stopping him. Calmly slots it in. Hat-trick for him. Argentina 5-0 up here and absolutely coasting.
Coasting sounds like a lot of effort, though. What is that, 102 goals for Messi with the national team now? 803rd goal now in his career. Mind you, this is not the match where he scored the most goals. Remember, he's already scored, like you said, 50th hat trick. He also had a match where he scored 5. Remember that match against Estonia? Loranus, that developed over at Manchester City. Bacuna, that's Leandro Bacuna. Excuse me, that's Juninho Bacuna, I should say, not Leandro Bacuna. There's a free kick opportunity coming up here for Curacao. Kenji Gorre and getting fouled. As it'll be Randy Kawas. Cleared away by Huehuacuña. Not much that was being done there by Juninho Bacuna. Messi. I guess you can use that proverbial phrase with Curacao. One thing is them going forward, another thing is them going back. Because when they have to go on defense, boy, do they leave a lot of spaces to exploit. Cuco Martina basically switched over to being a right back. He switched now with Yurinhari. Now, from a career standpoint, Cuco Martina did start as a fullback. So he's going back to his previous position. Nico Gonzalez. Enzo Fernandez, one of the 3 goal scorers for Argentina tonight. Circulating down that far side, Lautaro Martinez. He was trying to free himself up. Ball that ends up short. Insa. It's interesting to look at Enzo Fernandez. We'll talk about that in just a second. And his positioning on the national team compared to when during his first moments at Chelsea. McAllister. Alexis. Lautaro Martinez looking for his goal. Lautaro! It'll be a corner for Argentina. That'll be the 6th corner kick of the match for the Albiceleste. As we get into the final 5 minutes of this first half. You start looking at who you can sub for the second half, especially if you're Argentina. Maybe get a look at Franco Armani. Maybe get a look at Jeronimo Rulli. Lisandro Martinez, Nico Tagliafico, Juan Foyt, Guti Romero, Ezequiel Palacios, De Paul, Guido Rodríguez, Leandro Paredes, Ángel Correa, Ángel Di María, Julián Álvarez, Gio Simeone. I'd like to see him get some minutes. Player that also was so close to getting into that World Cup side, but it was going to be very difficult for him to surpass Lautaro Martinez and Julián Álvarez. And finally, Paulo Dybala would be another player that would be interesting to get some minutes as well. Martinez. Messi all alone down the near side. Argentina continuing to circulate the ball here and there and everywhere. Over on that side, Enzo Fernandez, Lautaro Martinez, digging in, looking for some open space. McAllister gets it blocked. McAllister, does he end up winning it? Finally cleared away there by Cuco Martina. Bacuna. Of course, he's not able to do everything by himself. And Peter, you were the one that was also talking about what Leandro Bacuna had to do, all the responsibilities and so much that he had on his plate. That ankle.
Well, I think that's been the position that's stemmed a lot of the problems for Curacao. we talk a lot about how good Argentina's midfield have been pre-World Cup, certainly during the World Cup with the changes. They've carried that here, but one of the things they do really well is how fluid they are in their positions. No one really stays still, no one sits. Enzo Fernandez is the guy deepest in this midfield three here today, but I think you were just alluding to it a few moments ago in terms of where we see Enzo Fernandez positionally as a midfielder, someone who can really do everything in that central midfield. The higher up the pitch you put him, the more dangerous he becomes. And then when you factor in McAllister and Lo Celso, the same can almost be said of those two as well. They can go deep, they can sit there, they can pick the ball up off the centre-backs, but they can also break those lines, get forward onto the edge of the opposition box and start pulling the strings. So if you're not really switched on, if you're not really disciplined defensively, that can really lead to getting overrun, and that's exactly what's happened to Curacao here tonight.
And between that and the humidity, it's taking a toll on them. Bacuna ends up getting his right ankle caught underneath Gonzalo Montiel. And you know what? The point that you just mentioned about Enzo Fernandez, that's something that Graham Potter ended up figuring out recently. And ever since he made that change, you saw a more effective and more dangerous Enzo Fernandez at Chelsea compared to his first few times where it wasn't that he was ineffective. It was just that he ended up being much more dangerous in front of the opposing goal. As that would be the end of this first half, as per Gustavo Tejera. An exhibition, a festival, and of course a goal-scoring spree that has been put on display by Argentina and Leo Messi. And of course you see some of the Curacao players now beginning to woo Messi, saying, hey, by the way, could I get your jersey? Could I do this? Could I do that? Keep in mind, Curacao had already requested over 28 Leo Messi jerseys coming into Argentina. But what they're getting instead are 3 goals by the PSG man. Well, it's halftime here. Peter, what's your analysis of what we've seen so far? I mean, there's very little to look at other than the usual that we've talked about Argentina time and time again.
Well, I mean, worrying thing for Curacao is 5, but it could probably be double that when you look at the number of chances. And they got off to just the worst possible start, didn't they? They got a huge let-off within a couple of minutes with Lautaro Martinez with an absolutely staggering miss that has been forgotten given the fact that we've seen 5 goals. But it set the tone, didn't it? Because a couple of minutes in, they were cut wide open, spaces left, right and centre for Argentina to exploit. And they simply didn't learn from that. Throughout the first...